the guy mostly responsible, at least on the field, between the lines, responsible for that national championship would have to be Deshaun Watson and the amazing exploits that he performed throughout his career, but specifically in the national championship game against Alabama, against what many of us consider to be the best defense, not just this year, but in the last 5 or 10 years of college football. Deshaun Watson off to the NFL draft. It's what teams do. It's what programs do. If you're truly a great program, you replace that great player, maybe not with always another great player, but at least a capable player. Hunter Johnson might be the exception. Another 5-star guy who may become that next great player at quarterback for Clemson. I'm understanding that he's in line to take the job. Is it a battle, or is it a foregone conclusion that Hunter Johnson will be the guy this spring?
I actually don't think that it is a foregone conclusion. Dabo Swinney and quarterback coach Brandon Streeter were actually asked about this earlier this week. And there are 5 guys right now that are coming into camp, and they have said that this quarterback competition is wide open. You look at it, there's 5 guys contending, and there's no experience at all among the 5 that are contending. Only 2 of them were involved in playing last year. Kelly Bryant threw 9 passes. Tucker Israel threw only 4. So, you take a look at that, and it really is going to be anybody's ball game. If the depth chart came out right now, which, we know obviously it doesn't, I think Kelly Bryant would be at the top just because of his experience with the offense. But I think a name that people really need to watch out for is Zerrick Cooper. Zerrick Cooper redshirted last year, and he was a pretty highly touted quarterback coming out of that 2016 recruiting class. He's more of a dual threat. He draws comparisons to Deshaun Watson, and that's obviously large shoes to fill. But we've heard that he's got a special arm. And with all the wide receivers that Clemson has, having that special arm and being able to connect with receivers like Deon Cain down the field, that's going to be something important, where with Kelly Bryant, that's more of a question mark. We don't know of his passing ability. We haven't seen it. When he's come in the game, he's primarily a runner. In fact, I'd say probably about 80% of the plays that he ran were designed quarterback draws.
Okay, so Hunter Johnson in the mix. You mentioned Jace Brice, Zerrick Cooper. So can you give me a feel for what kind of quarterbacks we're talking about as you run down them? I know that they haven't seen much of the field, but based on what the rep was coming out of high school and based on what you've seen on film and what the scouting report is, so what kind of quarterbacks are these guys?
Well, Zerrick Cooper and Kelly Bryant are both more dual threat, obviously. Kelly Bryant more running than passing. Zerrick Cooper has a nice combination of both. When you look at the other 3, Tucker Israel, Chase Brice, and Hunter Johnson, they're more of your prototypical pocket passers. And with that lack of experience, the pocket passing might be something that could be potentially deemed as a bit of a problem. Clemson's losing a couple key offensive linemen. And let's not forget Wayne Gallman, who was crucial in blocking in that national championship game. He was actually a fantastic run blocker and pass blocker. Obviously not a run blocker, but looking at that, Clemson may be looking for that dual threat factor, which I think maybe opens the door a bit for Zerrick Cooper. Now, there is a bit of pressure to get Hunter Johnson on the field and on the field early with the commitment of Trevor Lawrence of the 2018 class. Holding Hunter Johnson back a year may, in fact, defer him from seeing the field at all. So I think there is a little bit of a pressure on the Clemson coaching staff to get Hunter Johnson on the field and on the field early. And in fact, Dabo Swinney came out and said he would not be opposed to using 2 quarterbacks in next year's class in a bit of a dual quarterback system. So I could see Hunter Johnson maybe splitting time with a Kelly Bryant early if he isn't deemed prepared to get the job done right away.
Mark Gordon joining us from Shaking the Southland, SB Nation's platform for Clemson athletics. I have to appreciate the competitiveness of these guys to be battling 4 and 5 deep for one of the prime positions in college football. But I find it kind of strange that guys would opt for that type of situation versus look elsewhere in the ACC. Go to Virginia, go to Duke, win the starting job, be the guy. No doubt. It's just kind of it speaks again to the competitiveness of these guys thinking, hey, I can do it. I can line up against the top recruits in the country. I can make it happen. I can be the next guy, and I want to lead a winning program where I'm going to be surrounded by the best talent in the country.